Sac City. Welcome in to another edition of Pigskins and Pancakes presented by the Sac City Podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Vinny Milani, joined not as always by your boy AJ Johnson, and as always, my best friend in the whole entire world. He is Aaron the Mukesiah Mukes. And below me, we have the smoothest voice in sportscasting, good old Skoronek himself, Dylan Kearns. It is a beautiful September 25th morning here in the city. We're about to get Pigskins and Pancakes underway. Dylan, it's been a minute since we've seen you. How goes it on this morning?
It goes. Feeling under the weather. But, you know, football. We love football, right? And we get to talk it today. And, you know, my funny thing, right? My dad, he watches the show, all this stuff, right? He talked about Alec Pierce, some dumb stuff with the Colts, right? He's
like
going
AJ?
to yes, essentially. He's going to Chiefs Colts today. And he said, let me know if you guys need some content. I said, Dad, I'd pay to see your stand-up. And this man said, the hell's a stand-up?
Shout out Papa Kearns.
Shout out, Papa.
Word up.
AJ, how about yourself?
This man got his Belichick hoodie on. I can't help it. Like his look, his sound is straight up a Belichick in Zanesville, Ohio. I'm good, man. Fantasy day. Ready to get a couple dubs. My funny story, you guys remember I was excited to join that guillotine league I was telling you about. For those who don't know what a guillotine league is, 18 players, 17 weeks. Every week, the lowest score gets chopped. Well, I get ready to go pick up some of these players because I have no wide receivers in this 18-man guillotine league. Come to find out, the commissioner did not set the waiver as a fab. He has it on inverse of standings. So the whole purpose is to not have a low score, but then you get punished for not having a low score. So to this, week 3, I still have no wide receivers. I just lost out on Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, and Jamar Chase because I was too good last week. Ruined my guillotine league experience, and that ESPN league is trash.
Well, stop being so damn good. That seems like the fix here.
You know,
Just
it's
be
not
average.
harder.
No, I'm calling you out right now. And you know what? Well, maybe Vinny has to work today, but I know we don't have to work today, so I don't care if I run long. Listen.
Yeah.
I can't with you. I cannot with your connection. This is not how we're starting this morning.
I've had
off.
issues.
Buy a bed, buy some furniture, and buy some internet, sir. Enough with
It
the
is
air
your
mattress.
responsibility. It is your responsibility to know the rules of the league. Yours. It's not his responsibility for having a trash league. It's your responsibility for knowing the rules of the league.
No, I do know the rules of the league. It's his responsibility to get them right. You don't do a guillotine league with an inverse standings on the waiver wire. How will I ever pick up a player if I'm winning? So what you're saying is I have to be just good enough to not win, but make sure I don't have the lowest score.
No, it doesn't matter. The rule can be stupid. I'm not saying it's the right rule, but you should have known that going into it. Yes or no?
No, he did them wrong. He told us the rules, and he did them wrong. I'm not telling you.
Did he fix them?
No, he can't. You can't change the fab mid-season. It won't let you. The best he can do is change it to rolling week.
You can't. Never mind. Doesn't matter what the rule. If the setting said one thing and you did not know the setting, that is on the players. That's the player's responsibility.
Okay, so what did I do wrong? Hold on. So what did I do wrong?
I didn't say you did anything wrong, but complaining about a rule that you couldn't
got a great
control.
show ahead of us.
Is-
We've got a great show ahead of us. We are
I'm just bringing it.
We are diving into the rankings here today. This is how we're going to do it just to start the show off. Welcome in myself.
I have not
and
seen
Dylan
AJ
here.
and argue with AJ in weeks.
Trash.
You put AJ back on this fucking
trash.
Whoa.
Listen. All I'm saying is I brought attention to the fact that the rule was done. I'm still winning in the league.
You're crying
I'm
on
still
our
showing
show
up.
about a league that we don't care about.
Hold on. I'm sorry you didn't join.
Shout
the
out
league.
to
That
an
ain't
Owen
up to
Saxon.
me. I would be 2-0 in Sac City, but I played the first highest scorer the week I was the second highest scorer. But it's okay. It's cool. It's fine.
All I'm saying is, as you as the fantasy football player in that league, you have to understand the rule, even if it's stupid, or if they gave you the wrong rule, understand the setting and live with it. If you want to lose,
I am living with it.
If you want to lose to pick up better players, that's on you.
Yeah, I'm trying. I just changed my tight end to get like 7 less points this week. So hopefully I just won't be the lowest scorer.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
we have somebody in this. We have somebody in this group, Vinny, that's in a league, one of your leagues, that he doesn't like all the rules in your leagues either, all the settings in your league. And be honest, some of them are a little funky.
Call right? Out.
But we not complaining. We're not complaining. We right here
all the time. What you mean?
Well, not live on the show.
Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, all right. We've got a great show ahead of us, though. We are going to be diving in to our week 3 rankings. We're going to talk about who is too high and who is too low and who's just right on these rankings. We also have an injury report, our starts and sits, a waiver, or not a waiver wire. Jesus Christ, you guys have got me thrown way off on this show. We've got rankings, we've got start sits, we've got an injury report, we've got DFS, and we've got, of course, the streamers and the sleepers of the week here. Without further ado, let's get into our running back rankings, our 1 through 12 running backs. Kicking things off with Joe Mixon at the number 1 spot, followed up by Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, and Austin Eckler coming in at number 6. I'm going to jump in here with the first question, and then I'm going to hand it off to AJ. Aaron, DeAndre Swift at number 5. Are we at this point where it doesn't matter what his injury designation is, DeAndre Swift is going to go out there and perform if he's on the field?
Well, yes and no. He was worse last week, and I had him at number 8. And his injury was actually worse last week. I was trying to bring up, I had my stuff going, and then I got thrown off by AJ. So give me just a second here. Yeah, AJ, you threw me off. I was trying to get to my numbers, and I lost them here. But yes, so DeAndre Swift is going to be a top back. I told you I had him as a top back coming into this season. Last week, we obviously saw he only had 8 touches and still was a very productive 80-plus yards and a touchdown. I think that continues for him. I don't think there's a matchup that DeAndre Swift can't excel in. I don't think there's a situation outside of him not playing. So last week he was banged up, didn't get many touches. This week he's still banged up, but they said he's a little bit better. I expect him to get more involved this week. And then we're talking about a Minnesota Vikings defense that was torched last week by the Philadelphia Eagles. Detroit's offense is dynamic. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown and those weapons on the outside that they've been able to put up points with. They're the second highest scoring team in the league. And I think that breeds enough volume for DeAndre Swift to make it to the top 5.
All right. I'm going to jump right in here looking at your top 12. I love what you said about DeAndre Swift. I mean, for me, if he's on the roster, if he's playing, you play him. So it's not a big deal. Looking at some guys here, I'm loving what you're doing with Joe Mixon this week. I think he has a good chance. I love Alvin Kamara against Carolina. They're really going to need him with all the stuff that Jameis Winston is dealing with. The guy that I think is a little too low this week is going to be Leonard Fournette. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are just riddled with injuries in their wide receiving core. No Chris Godwin, no Julio Jones. Mike Evans is suspended. They signed Cole Beasley and activated him in the same week. That tells you how desperate they are for pass catchers. Now, despite having just 2 and 4 targets in the first 2 weeks, we've seen what happens when Tom Brady can target Leonard Fournette in the passing game, and it works out pretty well. So I expect him to have a couple more receptions this week, maybe 7 or 8 targets this week, go up to maybe 4 or 5 receptions, plus all the rushing snaps that he's going to get too. So I look at Leonard Fournette at 10. Great. You're playing him regardless. He might have a nice chance to stop up to that top 6 or top 5 role after today's play against Green Bay.
Yeah, I have concerns about the injuries for Leonard Fournette. He's banged up coming into this week. He was questionable. I'm not sure if he's going to see a full complement of snaps today, and that's what I'm worried about. It's not the productivity. Obviously, Green Bay has a bottom 10 run defense, especially after what we saw David Montgomery do to
this guy. Look at his teeth.
We've seen this before from Fournette, his ability to stay on the field at times, and I think that's what we're going to run into today. I don't think he sees a full complement of snaps, so he goes down a little bit further in my rankings. I do think he's going to see enough, especially in the passing game, but I worry about his long-term kind of sustainability over the course of the game as far as volume.
There's someone on this list I don't really like. And it goes down to.
Let me ask you this question, Dylan. When you're on the set of your at your station, do you lean back with a hoodie on like that? I don't care if you're sit up and talk to me like a man.
Oh, I'm talking to you, big bro.
Yeah. Sit up and actually, if you're gonna come at my rankings, sit up and come at my. Yeah, he's reclining shit like. What the?
He's Belichick to the fullest.
Remember when Dylan used to be like super like uptight about everything he did
Remember
on the
wore
show?
a shirt and tie on the show?
Yeah, like he used to be super professional. Now he's just chilling in a lounge chair, just hoodie up.
Mama, I made it. I do what I want.
So, boys, throw it back up there, Vin. Look at 6, right? Look at Austin Eckler. That's someone that I look at right here that I question big time. This guy's a top 10 running back in your eyes. There's potentially no Justin Herbert today. We'll see how his warm-up practice shit goes. But I look at Austin Eckler. Here's a guy who hasn't rushed for over 40 yards yet this year. And I know you're going to say, PPR monster. Dylan, do you watch them? Do you watch their offense? They check down. They do all this. I question Austin Eckler today. I know the matchup might be nice. I don't like it if it's Chase Daniel. I think it's a stacked box. I think there could be check down opportunities. But he got 9 catches last week. No Keenan Allen was there, right? He was out. So you had a little bit of time to check down more volume to the running back. He only had 4 catches in week 1. I don't like Austin Eckler at 6. I think it's a little far-fetched there, kid.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the passing work out of the backfield. That's what Austin Eckler is. And I don't care who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter if it's Justin Herbert or not. To be honest, it's counterintuitive. It's the opposite. When Justin Herbert's in the game, Justin Herbert actually would like to push the ball down the field. He has a stronger arm. He has connection with his weapons. With Chase Daniels in the game, I expect him to actually check the ball down more to Austin Eckler. And they don't. This is not about either quarterback. They design ways to get Austin Eckler the football. So the checkdowns that we're normally seeing that we say running backs do or don't get, those are guys that were looking deep and then we're checking down because nothing's there. They design plays for Austin Eckler out of the backfield to get work. Austin Eckler is he can't get worse on the ground. He's had 14 carries in both games, and he's had 39 yards around in both games. There's no possible way he gets worse in the running game, right? So with that, he can only excel from there, and I don't think the passing usage diminishes. He's their goal line guy. He finds ways into the end zone, and this is a really good offense, whether it's Justin Herbert or Chase Daniels. And despite what Jacksonville did last week, they are on the road this week. They're going across the country against a really good football team. I don't expect them to be able to slow down the Chargers offense the way they did the Colts.
I've been trying to pump the brakes on people all week long about the Jags and the Chargers, and some people I know were talking more highly of the Jags, and I appreciate people talking highly of the Jags, but the Jaguars, one, historically always struggle on the road on the West Coast, and two, like I get it, we shut out the Colts last week, but like the Chargers are not the Colts. Like the Chargers are not fully been there, done that, but they've been there, done that more than the Colts in terms of an offense and proving that they can do it week by week. And this defense, remember the Jaguars defense allowed all those yards and all those big plays to Curtis Samuel and the Washington Commanders offense. So this is LA we're talking about with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer. We're talking Austin. Like there's a ton of weapons on this offense that the Jaguars have not seen before. So
Dylan, I do have a question. What is your floor for Austin Eckler? Like a normal day, like what is Austin Eckler's floor when he's at his worst usually?
Probably get you 8.
At his worst?
At his worst.
I would say Austin Eckler's floor is one of the highest in the league. He's very close to Christian McCaffrey-esque because of the passing down work. He can have no success in the running game and still be good. So
like what if he gets those 30 yards and has 4 catches, there's a potential there for that. Maybe
first game I would say is his floor. I'll give you the first game of the year was his floor. He scored almost 12 points. So the reason I say that is because if at his worst he's scoring 12. Look, and I mentioned this on the Fantasy Show Tuesday. Look at how many running backs score in double digits every week. Look how many running backs score 15 points. Last week, we had like 8 guys that scored 15 or more, and that included guys like Tony Pollard kind of out of nowhere, Darrell Williams, guys that we know won't repeat these successes. You look at how many people actually score 15 points, which for us is like, okay, that's a solid game, but Austin Eckler is so much more than that. It's hard to rank. When you rank guys, you can't rank it that way. So you have to put Austin Eckler up there in your top backs because you're not putting any of those other guys over him because their floors are way lower than his. So that's really what it's about when you talk about rankings, where Austin Eckler sits, where Christian McCaffrey is always at, because those guys' floor is so high that you can't rank them at 12. That's really what it's about. That's all it is. It's not. I'm not saying Austin Eckler's going to have a great day, but I do think his floor keeps him inside the top 6-7 backs week in and week out.
He finished that week. You said it where his floor is. He finished RB 27 that week. There was a few other big game running back. I'm not discrediting what you're saying. I'm just saying that he finished RB 27 that week. And RB4 last week. So which Austin Eckler will we get today against the Jaguars? We will see. RB 13 through 24, the running back twos list. David Montgomery at 13. James Robinson finally getting the respect at 14. Miles Sanders, Antonio Gibson, Damian Pierce, and Cordero Patterson round out 13 through 18. AJ, or you know what, Aaron, I'm just going to start off with you here on this. Which running back in this group of 12 here was the hardest one to rank?
Well, Connor and Patterson were both hard. Connor, because I wasn't sure if he's going to play, and then I don't know the volume. Obviously, if he sees a full complement of snaps, I actually would probably move him up. But I'm not sure about that, so I have him kind of teetering that RB2 category. But I'll be honest, it's the same guy we talked about all year. It's Cam Akers. Because of the volume he got in week 2 that he didn't see in week 1. And I don't think the Rams run game is that great, but I'm wondering, is he going to get any goal line touches, or is it going to be Darrell Henderson again? But is he going to see 15? If he sees 15 carries and a few targets, I have to have you on my top 24 running backs. Like, that's how I feel. If you get that much volume, you have to be in my top 24. And so that's really what this is about. Cam Akers was hard. Cordero Patterson after a big week 1, not a big week 2. Kind of splitting the difference there. Seattle's defense has been it's been okay, but it hasn't been excellent. And Seattle's offense has been so bad that other teams are getting the ball more. So I thought Cordero Patterson might have another big day here. So those two were probably the ones I had the most question marks. And then not having Josh Jacobs in my top 24 hurts my heart. But I wasn't sure he was going to play. And he's playing now, or assuming going to play. And he flew on a private jet, but he is sick. So I worry about the stamina and all that kind of stuff there. But those two were the Cordero Patterson and Cam Akers were probably the hardest.
I'm going to slide right in here.
Slide
actually, you're going to slide
your ass out of here with your bad etiquette.
You told me don't press the red button, bro. The red button gets bigger, man. What do you expect?
between you and Dylan with the show, like Dylan's like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna take over here, like announcing your like arrivals, and you're just.
Hey man, I'm landing the jet plane, bro. Give me that list back, please, and thank you, my wonderful sir. All right, so. Well, the person I was going to go with makes so much sense. I was going to talk about David Montgomery being the best to get into the top 12, but you have him at 13. So obviously you believe that as well. So I will go ahead and take a slide to the lower half here and go with the Cordero Patterson. I know last week he wasn't the guy. We were looking to get him more targets, more chances in the rush game. He had a couple plays called back. But this week against Seattle, the defense is still trying to find himself. A lot of young guys in the secondary. It's that type of day that Cordero Patterson can do what he does best, and that's rushing the ball and receiving the ball. So I look for him to be able to be used sparingly and get these – sorry, not sparingly. The opposite of sparingly. Words are hard. You understand. I look for him to be used creatively and be able to run the ball, get behind the defense, be able to get a couple extra receptions. So Cordero Patterson, I think you can fire him up this week against Seattle in what probably will be another one of those closer, higher 20-point matches between the Seattle Seahawks and Atlanta Falcons.
He's frozen. I'm just going to jump in here. Dylan, when you look at his 13 through 24, is there a name you don't like on this list?
I personally love David Montgomery, but you said don't like. So I'm going to look at don't like, and it's at 22 with Cam Akers. And nothing against Akers. This is nothing against the guy. I'm sure he's a great guy. But I look at Aaron and where he goes with this, right? I don't like uncertainty. And ever since Todd Gurley has left that backfield in L.A., that's what that's been. They had C.J. Anderson doing a thing for a little bit. They had Darrell Williams. They had who was that Brown guy? Malcolm Brown, Tony Brown, something Brown, downtown.
You almost
Brown,
said who was that Brown guy?
So I mean, they've had a bunch of backs that have just randomly had good weeks. And I thought at the beginning of this season, I didn't listen to the show, obviously. I thought Cam Akers was the guy, right? So I took him. I was like, here we go. Let's get on this saddle. Let's go, Cam. Let's ride it to the end. Well, he lays out the stinker in week 1. Darrell Henderson takes over. Week 2, you see Cam Akers. I don't know how the hell you can sit there with full confidence and say, yeah, let's go Cam Akers week 3 because of what I saw last week. I think that's the play. I don't think that I don't think you thought this through entirely when it comes to that backfield. I'll just be honest there.
Again, I think this is a matter of you not really recognizing what fantasy rankings are. First of all, we're talking about a low end RB2. And would you agree that whoever gets the carries in the Rams backfield is capable of getting low RB2 numbers at the end of any given week?
Yes, but I think that's complete and utter bullshit that you have to sit there and pick somebody.
Who takes his place?
See, I don't got the 30 through whatever, but I'm telling you.
What you know the running backs in the NFL?
Okay, throw that list back up. I think you could possibly see a Tony Pollard. I think you could possibly see one of those other backs.
This is my point. So you are banking on Tony Pollard having a huge game with 8 touches, the same way I'm banking on Cam Akers having a more chance to get
their role.
No, but that's the point.
You know the Tony Pollard role. You know a Travis Etienne role.
That's my point. That's my point. Is I know that their upside is limited because of their role. Because I know that Tony Pollard is not
the top 25.
No. Their
That's
role.
Exactly why.
Tony Pollard, I know, is going to have 8 to 9 touches.
Yeah. What is
Cam Akers could have 20 touches at the end of today.
Or freaking
Tony Pollard cannot. But Tony Pollard doesn't have that. That's my point. So when you take the floor and the upside and you put that in the middle, that's where it's at. Tony Pollard's floor might be higher because you know what you're going to get out of him. You know what to expect, how many touches, but he doesn't have the ceiling. If today is the day where Sean McVay says Cam Akers is our guy, he's going to get the 20 touches. That's going to be you don't know that.
Clown to put out rankings.
Last week he had 15 carries and 2 catches. That's 17 touches. If you tell me the running back for the Rams has 17 touches, I will take that any day over the running back, a backup running back in Dallas having 8.
You don't know who it is. That's the problem with him at on the rankings.
When you're ranking people, you have to take into consideration floor and ceiling. That's all I'm saying. You can't put Tony Pollard ahead of guys Tony Pollard doesn't have that ceiling.
We've already seen his floor.
I really hope this isn't another.
He's an add-on play.
Listen, he got 17 touches in week 2 after having none basically in week 1. Darrell Henderson last week still got 10 touches. This is a football team that is going to give the running back the football. So you can talk about we saw his floor week 1, but his floor week 1 was a message from Sean McVay saying we need more from you, and he came out and said that. And then the following week, you're seeing a guy that got 17 touches. I'm sorry, but I'm believing that. You don't just go from being in the doghouse to getting 17 touches to go back to not getting anything. I don't believe that.
Expect to see Tony Pollard be near the running back 1 category this week, because last week you shat on Tony Pollard and he ended up doing some damage.
I didn't shit on Tony Pollard.
I'm kidding. Well, I know what you did last week.
Don't put those false narratives out there.
No, but you have been lower on Tony Pollard and higher on Zeke, and it's been the opposite. It's been the opposite to start the season.
Again, because it's not because of production. It's about the amount of volume. Tony Pollard has a ceiling on his volume of work. Last week he exceeded that volume. Go look in the career of Tony Pollard when Zeke is healthy and starting. How many times has he got 16 opportunities? Very, very little. I would argue it's less than 3 times. When Zeke is there, he doesn't
climbing. It seems to be climbing.
See, you're having the same decision as Dylan. You're looking at last week and says it seems to be climbing. The week 1, he didn't. What was climbing?
Week 1 was 8 touches. Week 1 was 8 touches, but I mean, they were in a dogfight against one of the top defenses in the league.
That's my point.
Week 2, you changed quarterbacks, and that seems like this quarterback needed the valve of the secondary running back because Zeke couldn't get going. I'm not trying to shit on Zeke either. And I'm not even saying Tony Pollard. I'm not even saying Dylan's right about Tony Pollard. I'm just kind of saying Tony Pollard is getting a little bit more.
It's not about Zeke, though. This is not a Zeke conversation. This is about an opportunity conversation for Tony Pollard. Does he have explosiveness? Yes. But he is required. If he does not score a touchdown, and how many touchdowns does Tony Pollard score in a season? where is he at if he doesn't touch the ball 16 times? There's not enough fantasy value there to rank a guy like that in the top 24. It's a reason why he's always ranked out of the top 24, because you can't rank a guy like that in the top 24. That ceiling is not high enough. That floor is too low. Yes, and you see where Zeke's at, back end RB2, because I have yet to see him get what he needs in that offense.
So it's not you saying that he can't enter the wide receiver or the running back 2 area. It's saying that you can't predict that because of what his role is. But
Yes.
it
know
is
his
possible.
role. You don't know Cam.
We're going to move on here now to the wide receiver position. Wide receiver 1 through 12. The wide receiver 1, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown round out the top 6. AJ, who do you like? Who do you not like? Who is just right? Tell me.
That number 10 spot just keeps on coming back to me. The Sun God, I'm expecting to have himself another great day. He's clearly the number 1 on that Detroit offense, and that Detroit offense has been rolling so far. Jared Goff is looking like a very good quarterback for the Detroit Lions. But Amon-Ra, I mean, we're talking to another guy. You can look for him to have 8 receptions again. He's looking to break that record of the greats. You could probably book him in the end zone again. I think that's possibly going to happen. And most of all, Dylan's NFC Championship Vikings have been inconsistent on defense at best. Are they going to have a great game today? Who knows? I don't think it'll be great enough to keep Amon-Ra at bay. So at top 10, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to have another 39-point game. I'm not saying he's not going to have another 39-point game. It's a very talented receiver, and he's their clear-cut number 1, especially if they can't get T.J. Hawkinson going to the likes and if G.J. Shark keeps dropping easy passes. So I like Amon-Ra at top and in the 10, and possibly can get up into that top 5.
Ooh, top 5, big. Yeah, I like Amon-Ra obviously in the top 10. I think he's been balling out. If you look over the past, including the end of last year to the beginning of this year, he's been one of the top wide receivers in football as far as fantasy production standpoint. I'm never going to rank him over some of those guys I have in the top 5. Just again from an upside. Why do people keep leaving the stream? I don't understand this.
I kicked Donut Boy out for literally just no one wants to see him chewing and eating on the show. I'm not doing that. That's where I draw the line. I'm not doing that shit. Go on.
All right,
when Fat Boy's done eating, I'll bring him back in.
I'm just saying, Amon-Ra definitely deserves to be ranked where he's at. It's not a. You know, I wasn't a believer. But they are using creative ways. Ben Johnson and that Detroit Lions offense is using creative ways to get him the football. He has shown that he can be consistent, and I think that's important. So Amon-Ra, if you have him on your team, you're no longer debating, am I playing him? Do I got to put him in your lineup and trust the process.
He is a must start every week for Amon-Ra St. Brown. The back half of your wide receivers, Jalen Waddle at 13, Christian Kirk 14, Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, and Terry McLaurin. Dylan, who do you not like on this top 20 wide receiver? Well, no, who do you like? Who do you not like? Who is just right on on his wide receiver 2s?
I love Mr. DK Metcalf. DK Zacharias Metcalf. I love DK. I think that's a beautiful matchup right there against Atlanta. Sure, the whole AJ Terrell thing, right? It might be followed. That Falcons defense is one of the worst against wide receivers so far to start this season. About 28 ranked on ESPN based on that look. I think with the athleticism and skill that Mr. DK Metcalf possesses, I think he has a monster day today. I mean, he's capable. Sure, he'll get you that 6, and you're like, damn it, he got me 6. But he also has the capability to, holy crap, there's a 30 burger for Metcalf. I'm saying all this, and I'm still sitting him on my bench today because I don't trust myself more than anything. But I'm telling you, I think DK Metcalf is a great play today, and he's loaded. At 17, I think that's massively low. He sneaks into the top 10 for me.
This is why I can't even have arguments with over fantasy with you, Dylan. And you want people to believe you about Cam Akers and all that stuff, and then you said you're benching a guy you have in your top 10.
Yeah.
Like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
Adams, Johnson, and Kirk. You tell me who you're sitting there.
It doesn't. Do you have all of them in your top 10?
I got all of them in my starting lineup and my top 10.
You're not listening. If you have DK in your top 10, he's a starter.
I'm torn between him and Kirk.
You're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. Anyways, DK, I do believe I like this matchup. Through the first 2 weeks, DK has seen 6 and 7 targets. So I'm okay with that volume. They haven't produced a lot of yards. He is a big play waiting to happen. I say trust the process with DK Metcalf. If you have him on your team right now, he's not a very good trade candidate because he's so low, and you're probably going to have to sell him for cheaper. So I say you hold because I do think there are better days ahead for him. He gets Atlanta this week, Detroit next week, and I think that will be bigger days ahead for DK Metcalf. And it does seem to be the same, very similar situation. Was it Tyler Lockett? Is it DK Metcalf? Lockett had a big one last week. Maybe it's DK Metcalf this week.
What was what wide receiver were you the hottest on out of your wide receiver rankings, whether it be 1 through 12 or 13 through 24? Hottest meaning highest, lowest, hardest to rank, hottest on your mind.
On my mind, I just want to talk about Garrett Wilson. I just want to talk about him. I don't care about hot, not hot. Garrett Wilson to me is trending, and I will give credit to AJ here, who said he might get off to a Justin Jefferson-like start. Not quite Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson didn't have anything the first 2 games and then broke out. But Garrett Wilson was kind of in between in that first game. And that second game, he really took the bull by his horn and he played a lot. And I think that's what we're looking at here. So to me, it's all, again, volume and opportunity when you talk about fantasy is all I give a shit about, really. You can tell me, oh, this guy's a great player. If he's not getting the opportunity to be good, then I don't know what to tell you. He went from almost 50% of the snaps against Baltimore up to 61%. That number, as he continues to play better, is going to continue to climb. And it'll phase. I don't say it's going to phase Corey Davis out completely, but it'll phase Corey Davis a little bit. And they're running a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, 2 backs in the backfield. We talked about these Jets weapons.
Oh,
here we go.
Both AJ and I said that he was the best wide receiver coming out of the draft, and that his ability to translate to the NFL immediately was what was most impressive. That the route running, the speed of the game, all that wasn't a concern, and you saw it last week. He gets open, he knows how to use his body, and he's going to be successful going forward. So I had a good time putting Garrett Wilson in my top 20.
Had a good old time putting Garrett Wilson in your top 24 here. I like it. Let's move on to our quarterback rankings. Your top 12 quarterbacks, headlined, of course, by Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. But there you go again. Kirk Cousins getting into your top 5 like you had him last week. Kirk Cousins at number 4. Justin Herbert, you're still having in your top 5, depending on what this injury, how this injury shakes out, whether he plays or not. Lamar Jackson at number 6. Tua at 12 on this list, cracking the top 12 against a very good Buffalo Bills defense. That's where I want to start. You got him at 12 right now. You're giving me the thumbs up. Like you may want to put him up higher. You want him higher?
Move him up. Him up. I did this list, and I knew there was injuries about Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, and they're there. They're both out. Micah Hyde's obviously gone for the year. I have serious concerns about that back end of that defense. If you look at the experience back there with no Tre'Davious White, no Micah Hyde, no Jordan Poyer, they don't have many guys that have played. It's Teron Johnson and guys. Benford, Elam, a bunch of rookies against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I don't think so. Cedric Wilson, Mike Gesicki. Bring that list back up. I'll tell you where to put him. He's just going to ding. He's going to climb. Yeah. He's just going to climb. Get him over Derek Carr. Get him over Aaron Rodgers. Get him over Matt Stafford. Get him over Kyler. Put Tua at number 8. Tua goes to number 8.
Okay,
it's a good spot.
All right.
I might have gotten him over Joe Burrow. I might have put him at the top of this side of the list.
I'm trusting that Bengals offense today. That's the only reason why I did not.
Trust me, I get you. That was a great spot to pause because you look at Joe Burrow, you look at the Jets, and the fear you just have is the fact that Salah has these Jets fired up and what they're able to do. I know last week, quote unquote, I don't want to say the word fluky, but it's not very often you're going to see a team come back with 2 scores in the final 2 minutes the way they did. So if this Bengals offense gets onto it, it's going to be really hard to stop Joe Burrow going. So I think that was a good spot to pause. Had he came to me, I would have talked about the same thing. What 2 of those guys did last week was amazing. What they get to face, I mean, in a way, they're kind of lucking out. And, of course, the game still has to be played. But aside from fantasy, I mean, this is a very big deal in the AFC East itself. So, this game is going to be high powered, high scoring, a lot of offense, a lot of deciding factors going on in this game, and really seeing what this division was going to play out with. When it comes to fantasy, if they got down for what Josh Allen and that offensive side is able to do, well, we clearly see now Tua has the green light to air the ball out with these guys, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and even Mike Gesicki might get going and hit a white gritty today. So I think that was a perfect spot for you.
So I want to bring up two things because I know people are going to be like, oh my God, two heads, whatever. And it's Buffalo's defense. Well, Buffalo, first of all, they're the number one team against the run. I don't think Miami's going to have success running the football this week. And they've already not had much success to start the season running the football. And now you go to against a defense that's the number one rush defense in football, only allowing 66 yards a game. I think that's huge. The second part of this is, let's be honest, we all think Buffalo's going to put up points. No matter whose defense is playing. Buffalo's going to score, which means what? Miami's going to have to drop back and try to keep pace. And I don't care what the final score is from a fantasy perspective, that is going to breed fantasy opportunities for those guys in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And you got to love that if you're there, if you're a Tua owner.
It's Tua time, baby. It's Tua time. What quarterback outside your top 12 do you think gets into the top 12 today? Here's the list again of top 12. Who do you think comes into the top 12 or has the best chance to enter QB1 range?
Yeah, for me, it's a debate. It's Russell Wilson, it's Tom Brady, Carson Wentz. It's between those three. I'm going to go with Russell Wilson because I think it's right there. I think they're right there in Denver. I think they need some clock management issues. The turnovers and penalties have killed them. I think if they clean up that stuff, especially the penalties, putting them behind the sticks, making drives harder, not being able to move the chains, I think if they clean up the penalties. You didn't hear my name?
Oh, back to back.
Nope.
Oh, I thought you did it twice.
Russell Wilson.
Who needs
Russell Wilson?
Got it. Okay. We're gonna move on to the tight ends here, but I see the people are joining in late in the show here. If you guys have any start sits questions you guys have in the chat, drop them. We're gonna answer them on the show as well. I see a lot of people are joining us now.
Wait. No, you're not an idiot. You're not an idiot. My point is, if you say that DK Metcalf is a top 10 wide receiver this week, then you choose to play guys outside of the top 10 over him, then you're an idiot because you either don't trust your ranking or you don't trust what you're saying is what I'm really trying to get at. I have no problem with Christian Kirk being over DK Metcalf this week. Absolutely none. I'm on record as being one of the biggest Christian Kirk advocates for being a big fantasy value asset this year. So you're not an idiot, just Dylan is, for ranking DK in his top 10 and saying he's not going to start.
And then saying it out loud on a show.
And then actually saying it, yeah.
Yeah, and also, too, you do have Christian Kirk ranked over DK Metcalf. Like, that was your actual ranking. Like, I'll bring it up one more time here. Like, you have Christian Kirk at 14, like borderline wide receiver 1 category here. Go Jags, by the way. Let's go to your tight ends 1 through 12. Of course, it's the usual suspects: Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Darren Waller. Number 4, though, is Kyle Pitts. You put in your trust. Is it just because the tight end position is the way it is, or you think this is the game we finally see Kyle Pitts go over 19 yards or whatever he's had the past 2 games? It's been the same exact thing. Is this more because the tight end position is the way it is, or Kyle Pitts is going to have that breakout game?
No, this is about rankings, and rankings are not about past production. Nobody cares what last week is anymore as far as rankings. Kyle Pitts is a top tight end in this league. Kyle Pitts had 1,000 yards last year. Kyle Pitts is one of the most explosive players at the position. You have to rank him accordingly. You have to gauge low end floor based on high end ceiling, and tight end floors are always low, like especially that position minus Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. But even sometimes those guys don't produce the way you want them to. Kyle Pitts is an extreme talent. Kyle Pitts will be the number 4 or 5 tight end all year in my rankings. Don't ask for it to change. I don't care how many times he doesn't get the football or how many 19-yard games he has. The fact of the matter is he's one of the best tight ends in football. You have to rank him accordingly, because if you start dropping him in your rankings and you start playing guys over him that are just as inconsistent, you're going to kick yourself in the ass when Kyle Pitts goes for 150 and 2 touchdowns and you had him on your bench because you chose to play Mike Gesicki or Pat Fryermuth or some other, adequate tight end that's just going to have a baseline like this, but no upside. Take the upside, play Kyle Pitts. He's in your starting lineup every week.
And with some players, obviously, you get some answers by week 3, but some players, it's just not enough time to just cut bait. We're in week 3, and yeah, it's been 2 receptions for 19 yards or whatever, but they're still kind of figuring out. Like, nobody outside of the Atlanta Falcons team believes they have any weapons, but those guys believe in each other. They throw to Drake London a lot, and he's been showing up. Cordero Patterson, they're still trying to figure out if he's going to take over everything over Tyler Algier. And then you got Kyle Pitts, who we all know should be getting the ball. And I think they know that as well. So I'd imagine against the Seattle Seahawks team who's still trying to find themselves, they're going to look to get Kyle Pitts the ball a little bit more. And I would imagine if that's the case, he's going to find something to do with the ball once he gets it.
He's on the field every play. He's at 90% of the snaps on average. He had 7 targets in week 1. Last week, he only had 3. It was a little bit less. So what? So what? You're starting Kyle Pitts.
Give me 2 quick hits here, Aaron. 1 tight end who you think could possibly fall out of your top 12, and 1 tight end that you think enters the top 12. Best chance to do both.
Fallout would be Dawson Knox.
Okay.
Dawson Knox, and I don't want to give you somebody that I think is going to fall in. I'm going to go a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit different here. Actually, I am. I'll put somebody that's going to go in. I'll say Logan Thomas, Washington.
Okay,
nice.
Fair enough. There you go. That does it for our rankings. We've got injury reports, we've got sleepers and streamers, and then we have our DFS play coming up in just a few moments. But let's just answer these rip questions here. Dylan, Dameon Pierce, Chase Edmonds, J.K. Dobbins. Pick one.
Whew. I got to go Pierce. Matchup sexy. I like it.
Rank them. Pierce, then who?
I like Aaron's point about the run game in Miami. Don't really like it. Dobbins, the injury questions there. Pierce is the safest. Dobbins, Edmonds in my eyes.
AJ Dillon or Rashad Penny and Saquon. Wait. Oh, is this a trade? We're going to have to get some clarification from our boy Tyler here. Going to have to get some clarification. Which one is this? Don't know which one it is. Don't know why I brought it up. Let's get in.
Whatever the answer is Saquon.
It's Saquon. Once I saw Saquon's name, I was like, shit. That kind of throws it all off.
Maybe even start 2. Dylan and Penny or Saquon.
If it's 2, I would go Saquon and then Dylan. I think Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker, those guys are gonna. I don't even know who's gonna get the volume in that backfield right now. So. It's a mess for me. I would take Saquon, then I would take the upside of AJ Dillon, and then it would be Rashad Penny. It's the best I can.
Let's get into our injury report. Aaron, hit me with it.
Yeah, we got our actives, inactives, and it's a long list of active players, which I absolutely love. Some of these guys on this list that are actually playing. Josh Jacobs and Alvin Kamara are back this week. Calvin Kamara back this week. Josh Jacobs is playing. Big time move there for the Raiders. They're going to need Josh Jacobs. Alvin Kamara coming back. I talked about needing him to be on the field for the Saints. I'm excited as he's playing. Connor is active. Big for the Cardinals. How much are they going to use him, though? I do expect some Eno Benjamin and some Darrell Williams. So watch out if you have James Conner. He moved down in my rankings. Jerry Jeudy is active. Another big-time addition there for the Denver Broncos on the other side of Cortland Sutton. I do expect Sutton to be the wide receiver 1 there, but having Jerry Jeudy on the field is going to help. DeAndre Swift, as we talked about before, is active, which is expected. He should be a little bit healthier this week than he was last week. I expect those touches to go up to around 12. And then Leonard Fournette is active, but he is dealing with some lingering issues. So I worry about his workload today. So just keep your expectations limited. Hopefully he can tough it out. And then inactives names are Jacoby Myers for the Patriots, who got off to a really good start, and Taysom Hill, who everybody got on the Taysom Hill train, and Taysom Hill is what Taysom Hill
gone.
is.
One name I did not put on there that was listed as came out. He was active and he was going to be active on Friday, I believe, is George Kittle. He will be in this game. We saw where he was in your tight end rankings, but can you just give an idea on what fantasy owners should expect from George Kittle here in his first game back?
Yeah, I was trying to be conservative with George Kittle. I put him, I think, at 5 or 6 or somewhere around there. This is just, upside to be tight end 1. George Kittle's back, but he hasn't been on the field, hasn't played this year. I want to see it first, so I ranked him conservatively. But George Kittle's on your team. You put him in your lineup. We have him in Sherm's league. He's going to be in there, and you expect good things from him. The connection with Jimmy G, obviously, it's not like, oh, you worry about Trey Lance. Nope, he's played with Jimmy G. They know that offense, and I expect George Kittle to be George Kittle.
All right, there's your week 3 actives and inactives. Let's get into our sleeper of the week.
And now for your sleeper of the week.
Dylan, hit me with it.
Yeah, I'm going to a divisional matchup in the NFC North. I'm liking the Vikings. I'm liking the Lions. And I'm going with the Lions pass catcher here, right? And everyone's sitting here wanting, oh, yeah, let's see how the offense is. Everyone wants Amon-Ra. I was torn between DJ Chark and Josh Reynolds. I'm going DJ Chark. I think he's the play today. I think he could be a nice sleeper. He's a deep ball threat. We've seen him have great fantasy years before, maybe just a year, but he's had great fantasy weeks. And I think it's this. He wet his pants last week. Week 1, he had a solid 15-point outing. I think this week against a divisional opponent, we've all seen this Minnesota secondary, whether it's Pransler, Dantzler, whoever they got back there, they're getting shredded. So they're getting
double digits from TJ Chark this week. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely double digits. Maybe he's got a 20-point in him. I think he's got a long touchdown in the books. Take it to the bank and pound it.
Ooh, I like it. Let's get into the streamer.
Oh, shit. Let's do it. Favorite part. All right. So streaming defenses this week. So last week, I gave you guys the Cleveland Browns on Sunday, and they were doing fine until the last 2 minutes when they completely shat the bed, and I would have been good. Had I been able to do it on Thursday, I would have been good on the Cleveland Browns as well. I'm switching it up a little bit this week because I do realize a lot of people had the Browns, and the whole point of the streaming defenses is their teams you're probably not going to find. So there are some teams out there that I really like. Honorable mentions go to the Philadelphia Eagles, who have a sack at least in both games and an interception in both games. The Carolina Panthers were going to be my guys just because what the Saints have allowed over their first 2 games. The team I am going with, and this is going to surprise you, only rostered in 3% of sleeper leagues and I think 17% of ESPN leagues. 29% of ESPN leagues. It's going to be the Houston Texans. Going up against the Chicago Bears. This is a streaming defense. This is somebody you're probably going to be able to find on your waiver wire. They also have sacks in both games. They have interceptions in both games and forced fumble and recovery in one of the last 2 games. And they're playing a good matchup in Chicago with Justin Fields and that offense still trying to find out how to get production. Darnell Mooney may be their only guy getting production, and even he has been off to a slow start. So if they can find a way to stop David Montgomery, get into the backfield on that porous offensive line, and create some turnovers, I think they're a good streaming defense if you are a guy that plays or lady that plays weekly defenses.
That's a minus.
I am
on mute. I was like, is anybody else not hearing him?
Yeah, that's on me.
I want to say something. I love that pick.
Boo this man. Wait.
Revenge game.
Wait, do I have the oh, I still have it here. Hold on.
Boo this man. Boo this man.
Back boot. Oh, that's
back-to-back boos.
All right. So Houston Texans streaming defense, DJ Chark as your sleeper of the week. It is now time to get into our DFS plays of the week here. Aaron, who won last week in DFS?
Yeah, so AJ won last week in DFS. He had a pretty good week at 179.18. So he gets to select the draft order this week. Yep. And yeah.
So with there being 4 people, I'm gonna go ahead and take that first pick.
Thank God I picked first back-to-back weeks. I'm tired of it.
It's cool. I am gonna give Aaron the second pick as it was his birthday this week. Vinny, you're gonna slide in there at 3, and Dylan, that Lovey joke, man. I mean, That just you ruined it. You would have been third, but
Where,
you're gonna be fourth now. But fourth is not bad.
So
So
just so you guys know, we like to give our little updates, and I just updated the overall standings. You know, I won week 1. Dylan did not, or AJ did not participate week 1, so he has some making up to do.
It's not my fault. I tried. I was left out.
Hey, not our problem. Not our problem. So you are down by quite a bit, but it's okay. You're pretty good. You can come.
AJ, you can set 2 lineups this week.
Sorry. I am in the lead with 264.52. Vinny is right behind me at 261.70. Dylan's behind that at 247.22, and then AJ, you're at 179.18. But that was a great first week to start making that comeback. You're already there.
Yeah.
So we're only 2 weeks in. We got a long way to go, fellas.
So funny.
All right,
I
AJ,
had half my lineup done while I was trying to film a ceremony, and then I go back to it. It's like, this is full. Like, what the hell you mean it's full? I'm the fourth. Oh, just 3. Got it. With my first pick this week, I am liking what he's been able to do. I normally don't do it like this, but I like the salary at 7,600. I think that's still too low. I'm going to start with my QB, and I'm going to lock in Jalen Hurts, QB1 this week, and be happy about it. There's other QBs I could have went with, but I have my lineup set right here. So,
Aaron,
I am going to take the best tight end in football, Travis Kelce. I am going to take that as my number 1 pick. I think that's the biggest advantage at the biggest position. Give me Travis Kelce.
I'm going to take his quarterback here. I am going to take Patrick Mahomes. I think that they torched the Indianapolis Colts today, and Patrick Mahomes is going to do quite a lot of damage. So give me Patrick Mahomes as my quarterback.
I am going to take my 2 here, and I'm going to go with someone who always dominates his opponent. Give me Dalvin Cook against the Lions, and give me Devontae Adams against the Titans.
All right. First round's over. Round 2 has begun. I will take my first running back off the board. I will go with Aaron's running back 1. I think he has a good week this week. I think the Bengals have a bounce back week, and I will take Joe Mixon as my running back.
I'm taking Tyreek Hill against Buffalo. I can't bet against Tyreek Hill with both those safeties. Both those safeties are gone too over the top. Give me some Tyreek Hill.
oh, that was so fast. Awesome. Cool. I am going to hit up the same game, and I'm going to take the guy on the opposite side, Jalen Waddle. And then I'm going to go back-to-back wide receivers and get my guy Justin Jefferson here. I will pay up for that receiver. Hopefully, I'll be able to keep the other players that will allow me to afford these guys.
You're already strapping yourself right there with 2 wide receivers.
If it works out the way I want, I have $100 left over, so I'm actually doing pretty well.
All right.
I'm going to take my defense here. I'm taking Jacksonville's defense against the Giants. Only 2,300. They're one of the cheaper defenses, and I'm praying that Justin Herbert doesn't play or that he's limited in what he's able to do. They maybe lean on the run more, and Jacksonville's able to keep it close.
I like what you're thinking over there. I like it a lot. And I'm going to return the favor here, and I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys defense going up against the New York Giants.
You 2 love her.
We have a good defense. That's not.
It was returning the favor, as in you picked my team as your defense, and I will pick your team as my defense. There you go.
I got you.
Who's on the clock?
You clown! Come on, figure it out.
I will take David Montgomery and Derek Carr. Stack them with Devontae Adams.
Okay. And that's where I was also on the same stack them. They don't play on the same team, but then I saw where he was going. So, all right. So you have David Montgomery, Derek Carr, and Devontae Adams as your first 3 picks. Do you have one more pick? Oh, and Dalvin Cook. That's who it is. I'm back on the clock, and I'm going to take my tight end here. I'm going to take Tyler Higbee against the Arizona Cardinals. I think Arizona Cardinals are always bad against the tight end. I think Tyler Higbee's been a good a weapon on that Rams offense. Give me Higbee.
I am taking Jamar Chase against the Jets. I think they have a big day. I think they have a big day on offense, and give me some Jamar Chase.
Stupid question here to give AJ more time to figure out his pick. Is Sauce Gardner and is that a match? Is that a matchup? Sauce and him at all?
Is Sauce playing?
Is he? That may be
he was
why
hurt before, but no, I'm not worried about Sauce Gardner.
They'll cook a rookie.
Yeah, okay. That's I just wanted to bring that up here. Bring it up. AJ, you are now on the clock for 2.
All right. So I am going to grab my stacks here, a double stack it with a running back with Miles Sanders at 5,500. I like that price. I like the way they've been using him. And then I'm going to get my third receiver in Devontae Smith. Last week, 100% catch rating. And over that Washington secondary that has been up and down at best. I like that. I like that fallout a lot.
How many receptions did he get?
Ooh, I want to say 6.
Devontae Smith.
You said what?
How many? Devontae Smith.
I wanted to say 6, but let me. I can double check for you real quick.
I think he got 7. He was 7
okay.
for 80.
Okay, good.
Yeah, 7 for 80.
Good game.
Yeah.
Good game for Devontae Smith.
I told everybody he would bounce back, but people were worried because he had a goose egg week 1. Stop.
Overreaction Mondays there.
Always, every Monday. It's on me now, right?
Yep.
That's
It's on me, baby. I'm taking the South Georgia boy himself, Damian Pierce, against the Chicago Bears.
Okay. All right.
right? No?
Nope. I am on the clock here, and I will. I'm gonna take my guy. I'm gonna keep rolling with him. I'm gonna take James Robinson.
Oof, that's a bad pick.
Said it last week he did good, and said the week before he did good, and you guys are looking like fools. Through 2 weeks talking shit about James Robinson.
You didn't win either week, so
somehow I'm still in second place. Somehow I'm still in second place for most points, though. So
just because I didn't play for an entire week.
Wait, hold on. Pause.
You're the first loser. Great. You're the first loser. Great.
Let's go off track. Why are you guys shitting on James Robinson, especially you, Aaron? Because you literally had James Robinson at your running back 13 or 14 spot.
I'm not. Again, well, this is DFS. You shouldn't be picking the 14th best running back. I'm just saying.
It's a money thing. It's a money thing.
I get it. I'm not. I didn't. First of all, Dylan said that, or that it was a bad pick. I just laughed and said that it didn't help you win. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I like James Robinson. You know that. I just think that you always pick him because you love him.
Damn right.
I'm going to pick with your head.
If he's healthy, I'm going to pick him every single week.
Yeah, you're an idiot. Okay. Is it on me now?
No, it's on Dylan for 2.
Dylan for 2. I will take Michael Pittman coming back from injury, and I will take Bob Tunyon.
Big Bob Tunyon. All right.
It's in the end.
Ew. There's about 1,000 tight ends you could have picked over Bob Tunyon.
I am going to go with I don't normally like to do the rookie picks, and I'm just going to do it anyways. I'm going to go with Jahan Dotson for the Commanders against the Eagles. I think he had a very good week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Eagles secondary outside of James Bradbury is and then I think he has a good week. I think Jahan Dotson can find the end zone for Carson Wentz.
Jahan Dotson.
Interesting pick there. I am going to go Tua Tagovailoa.
Amosa.
Smart.
Notre Dame joke.
I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna take a lesser tight end to make this wide receiver at my flex. I'm gonna take Garrett Wilson, and then I'm going to take this rookie down here. No, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take Isaiah Likely. I know Mark Andrews is that guy, but he looked Isaiah's way quite a bit last week, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. So hopefully it'll happen again.
That's likely not going to pan out.
I almost Skowronek.
Ben Skowronek.
Oh,
Skowronek.
That sucks.
Go.
I made a mistake. That was wrong. I didn't math right.
Anyways, whatever that happened, I am going to take. I'm going real low here on my running backs. I'm taking Rachaad White. Rachaad White against Green Bay. I liked what David Montgomery was able to do on the ground. I don't trust Fournette is fully healthy. I think they get some Rachaad White. Maybe he gets some work out of the backfield. Give me Rachaad White. Hopefully, I can get a double-digit game out of him.
Hey, legit, can we go back?
After the draft.
Well, I mean, it may affect what Aaron was going to do because I thought I mathed right and I didn't math right, and so by trying to make that switch, it didn't work, and I would have been above.
Boys. Let's get our roster right.
What were you going to draft?
Well, so by trying to get Isaiah Likely, I was actually 100 over, so I was going to go back to my original, which may allow you to have who I'm dropping because I can't afford him, which would be Garrett Wilson. So instead of it, it's basically instead of Garrett Wilson and Isaiah Likely, it's Elijah Moore and Irv Smith. That will actually make me allowed to fund my
I don't care. I don't want either one of those.
All right, cool.
There we go. All right.
I'm
on the
still
clock.
taking Rachaad White.
Yeah, I'm on the clock here. I'm going to go with give me Josh Palmer against the Jags.
Ew.
Oh, I got mine too. I'll take Logan Thomas and my sleeper of the week, DJ Chark.
I will take. Give me Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I am taking Nico Collins to Houston Texans. This is not going to
say, what is this world coming to?
This is not going to work out well for me.
That's three Texans players drafted in this DFS. Then
this is not going to work out well for me.
It's a good day. It's a good day. I am going to go with my final two here, and that would be running back Jeff Wilson Jr., and I will take the cheapest defense of the Detroit Lions.
Against Minnesota?
Hey, man. So I had left back.
Didn't you say you drafted before this? Didn't you say that you had this all figured out beforehand?
Here's the thing. But here's the thing. It's not like I can get negative points, so I'm not really worried
what happened
about it. I'll get all the rest of the points everywhere else. I'm fine with it.
All right, my last pick is going to be my flex, and against all my better judgment in taking two tight ends, I am going to take two tight ends here, and I'm going to go Kyle Pitts at 4,800. I think that's a cheap way to get a one of the top players in an offense that's going to be looking for points. Give me Kyle Pitts.
That's a really good. Wow, that's okay. I've got my last pick. I'm going to go. I've liked what he has been doing for the Jets. I know Breece Hall had a good game last week, but I've just been liking the consistency for Michael Carter. I will take him for my flex.
I'll take Falcons defense and lock it in.
Lock it in.
AJ, go ahead and read your team.
Oh, all right. So I've got Jalen Hurts at my quarterback, 7,600, too cheap. Miles Sanders to go along with him. Jeff Wilson Jr., the number one in San Francisco. Devontae Smith, Justin Jefferson, and Jalen Waddle are my wide receivers. Irv Smith Jr. as my tight end. Elijah Moore as my flex. And the lowly Detroit Lions as my defense.
Lowly, baby.
Lowly, baby.
Baby.
Found you. What the fuck are we doing right now?
Who's next?
You, bitch.
Whoa, I didn't hear you.
He called the bad bitch.
God damn. Okay. Tua at quarterback, Dameon Pierce at running back, Rachaad White at running back, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, and Nico Collins as my receivers. Travis Kelce and Kyle Pitts are my tight end / flex. And Duval defense.
Let's get it. I got Patty Mahomes, Joe Mixon, J-Rob, Brandon Cooks, Jahan Dotson, Josh Palmer, Tyler Higbee, Michael Carter, and the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Vinny, I think you took a shit and threw it up on a board.
Weren't you in last place last week?
I was, but this
every week. Yeah. He's in last place every week.
You have no room to talk shit to anybody about anything in this show because you suck at the predictions and you suck at the fantasy. And you have no room. So sit your ass down, read a team, and let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, let's do that. Surprisingly, I didn't have to make any changes. Who I had before was actually who stayed. I went Derek Carr as my quarterback, balling on a budget. Dalvin Cook, David Montgomery. Talk about some stellar running backs. Devontae Adams is stacked with Derek Carr. Michael Pittman off of injury. We'll see how he does today. DJ Chark, stream of the week, or sleeper, whatever the hell you want to call it. Texas Tunyon and Logan Thomas as a flex and a tight end. That's a little poopy. But then I got the Falcons defense against Seattle. I mean, hell, it's Geno Smith. So we'll see what we can do there.
I liked your team until you got to that DJ Chark and below.
It started off really hot. I was
It
like,
did.
oh, wow, Dylan has a really good team. And then it went,
Yeah.
oh, my goodness. You're lucky there's no minus points.
If Bob Tunyon scores a touchdown, I'll finish at least above 3.
You
I
have
can put
like
that in.
it's one. Aaron, who are your flex and tight end? Who do you have? Kelsey and who?
Pitts.
So it's one thing to do double flex of tight or like double tight ends if it's like 2 good tight ends. You pick 2 shitty tight ends as your tight end and flex. Like, I'm
Is
not
Bob
sure how that
Tunyon
works.
who?
I'd rather have Logan Thomas than a Dante Pettis.
Well, I mean,
That's true.
like
You
I
know what
said,
mean?
That's true. No,
Like-
I
like
get
I
what,
said-
I get why you did there. I get what you did there. That's smart.
Like, as far as budget goes, I was looking at Ben Skoranek. I was like, I'm not taking this clown. He sucked in high school.
What?
Wow. Wow.
Old
You out of all
Skoronek talking
people.
about
Oh,
Skoronek.
my goodness. All right. Well, that does it
And
for
just-
another fan.
For the 2 people that are still watching,
You know who they are. You know who the 2 are.
I know. Love those guys. Love those guys.
Give them a shout out. Give them a shout out.
Add a baby Bailey and Tyler.
There you go. There you go.
Don't
All
help
right.
Bailey set his lineup. Nobody, because he's playing against me.
He
No,
has
no.
never DM'd me. Bailey, what the hell's going on here? I'm just gonna tell
You guys are the same. You
Oh,
guys are the
you
same
said-
person.
I don't
Oh,
respect
you're
you.
stupid, Dylan. You're stupid.
Yeah, both of you guys have ridiculous sports takes, and it's just it gets absurd sometimes.
If you
That's-
ask Bailey to DM you, he will DM you.
and you'll have dumb
It's
conversations together because both of you guys have no idea how to play fantasy sports. But that does it.
Wait. Stop with the Vinny's trying to get out of here, and I don't know why. But listen,
Yeah, I gotta work. I gotta go to work.
it's 12 o'clock. I know you don't work until 4, right?
At 3. It's Sunday. I
Well,
work
hold
at
on. Let
3.
me get this out because we had our DFS on Thursday, and we did not give credit to
Give credit to the ones that we know of, the people that we know.
yeah, so but I did want to do that because Bailey was up near the top. He finished 6th for our Thursday night DFS for that Thursday night game, and I was really impressed by his lineup. I think he just really tapped into what we were talking about on the show, which was pretty smart of him. But he did come in 6th. I don't know of anybody else that came close. I don't know where you guys finished, but I finished like 74th. Vinny, you got 28th.
Yeah, I think AJ was ahead of me.
No, you
No.
were ahead of me because I
Yeah.
lost yours. I was in the 60s.
I'm gonna say I haven't seen AJ's name yet, and I'm still scrolling through. So I came in 74th, which was not very good. Thank you, Mitchell Trubisky, but really more so than anything, thank you for me switching my dumbass lineup. Overthought it. AJ, you came in 64th. So
Cade York. Dylan, did you set your lineup for that?
For what?
Did he
Thursday
not?
night.
Oh, I forgot how busy Dylan is nowadays. I can't get past that. But yeah.
yeah, Tyler finished very low on that as well. I'm not
Did he
sure
finish
exactly
last?
where. I don't think it was last, but
Oh, not a good look,
I don't-
intern. Not
I
a
don't
good
know.
look.
I don't know his name on here right now, but yeah, he didn't finish very well either.
Not a
So,
good look,
very
intern. Get
common.
better. Get better.
Yeah.
Either
Now
way,
you can
though,
finish it.
can I? Okay, great, fantastic. That does it for another episode.
Oh,
of
but wait, hold on, because
that does it for another episode of Pigskins and Pancakes. We'll be back again live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time, breaking down all of the action from week 3, all the highs, all the lows, and so much more. If you have not done that, haven't followed us yet, AJ, take it away one last time, just so I can hear your beautiful voice. I'm not gonna be able to hear it until next week.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for rocking with us on Pigskins and Pancakes for all your fantasy news for the rest of the week and every day at Sac City Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You know the deal. Once you get there, hit that like, hit that follow, hit that share, then pick up your phone and tell somebody about it. Sac City Pod is where you want to be for all of your NFL content. Day in, day out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. It's your boys who are back in town. Sac City, baby. Chill.
There it is. For your boy AJ Johnson, for my best friend Aaron Mukes, and for old Scrow Neck himself, Dylan Kearns, I am me. We will see you tomorrow.
Peace out.
We're on to Cincinnati.